Hi everyone and welcome back to my travel series. So today I'm going to take you through my top tips for health and wellness. So I've broken these down into 4 sections and each section has 3 to 4 subsections. So the first section is all about trying to keep yourself as germ-free as possible. The first point is avoiding germs. So the best way to do that is obviously be vigilant with where you go, make sure there's ventilation in the room, there's as much fresh air as possible, obviously wear a mask. Keeping your hands clean is the second point. Obviously washing them for 20 seconds is the best way to keep them clean. If that isn't possible, then antibacterial gel is the next best thing to use. Carrying tissues, try not to wipe your nose or blow it on other things, which I know some people do, but carrying tissues, blowing your nose, throwing it away and washing or anti-backing your hands straight afterwards. And then finally, using your own drinks bottle, especially if you are in an environment where people are likely to share them, in maybe a gym or like in more of a leisure setting. Having your own drinks bottle, keeping it close to you and making sure that you regularly wipe the lid down as well. Sharing cutlery or containers or cups or glasses is bad news. So number 2 is all about energy. So the first point I've got here is eating the freshest food possible. So wherever you are, whatever environment you're in, always choose the freshest possible options you can. Avoid ready-made meals, fast food, processed food as much as you can. Ensure you're having the appropriate amount of calories that you need. So not too little, not too much, but the right amount. There's loads of apps available now that you can use to find this out. It's quite easy. After doing it for a few days, you get into the habit and you become aware of portion sizes and how to vary your diet to cater for this. Avoid crash dieting. So if weight loss is something you're thinking about or something that you're currently kind of in the process of, then be really careful with what diet you follow. And crash dieting is bad news. It can affect a lot of your bodily systems and processes. And the final point here is fueling before exercise. Whatever training or exercise you're doing, make sure you've got enough energy to do it, as again that can have ripple effects that can cause issues further down the line. So section 3 is all about keeping yourself well and trying to avoid getting ill. So the first point I've got here is making sure you have a daily probiotic in whatever format you prefer that can be, just to make sure you look after your gut, to make sure you've got quality gut health and to avoid any gastrointestinal distress that could occur. Making sure you dress appropriately for the weather. Sounds obvious, but I see so many people get this wrong, and particularly when it's cold and wet, that can lead to further illness, which puts you on the back foot. And wearing sandals in public areas. So if you are in a leisure facility on holiday or a gym, making sure you've got some sliders or some flip-flops you can put on, just to minimise any germs that you might come directly in contact with in a shared facility where people might be showering. So number 4 is quite possibly the most important section, and it's one that a lot of people forget to do. The first point I've got here is making sure you do something fun and enjoyable every day. Now, it doesn't have to be for long, but it has to be something that you're really passionate about and it makes you happy. Otherwise, what's the point of going through the entire day as a grind when there's nothing for you to look forward to? Minimise your life stress. So I talk about this a lot in my previous videos, whether it is mindfulness or some form of exercise or practice that relaxes you. So meditation or yoga, for example, really good ones to start with. Any breathing exercises. There's so many good apps that you can use for this. A lot of them are free and they can really help you. And finally, sleep. I say this all the time, sleep is so important, and it's what people probably prioritise the least in their day. You want to aim for an average of 8 hours, so that means being in bed for probably at least 9. Yes, it's not always going to be perfect. Some days you're going to have less, some days you're going to have more, but if you can average it out around 8, try to get your sleep and particularly your wake up times the same, as consistent as possible, you can have a much better quality rest and recovery. So there we have it, everyone. I really hope you find those useful. Even if it's just one, great, but hopefully you'll find a couple of them that you can slot into tomorrow, next week, next month, just to make your health and wellness a little bit better each day. Any questions or comments, please drop below.